Well, we're joined once again by our CFL analyst, the former CFL linebacker Henoc Muamba. We are wearing the same clothes we wore on yesterday's show because we felt like it. All right, let's chat about the CFL season so far. You and I were talking off camera. It seems like so much has happened in the league already this season. We're only 5 weeks in. Going into week number 5, we had 2 undefeated teams, the Riders and the Blue Bombers. And you said on SportsCenter Regular last week that you felt the Riders' win streak would last longer. And you were right, Henoc Muamba. You were correct about that. Winnipeg loses by double digits. So who, in your mind, is the best team in the Canadian Football League right now?
As of right now, you gotta talk about the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They're undefeated right now, and they've been playing tremendous football. And what I love about this team is the makeup of the team. One, they're playing extremely well all 3 phases of the game. Offensively speaking, Trevor Harris, he actually is missing some time right now. Jake Merritt comes in, and he does just enough to win games. But you got an attack, an offense, a rushing offense in A.J. Ouellette, who has been tremendous. Jay, 200 yards in the last 2 games alone. He's been tremendous. It's hard to stop him right now. You also got Kadeem Carey that isn't even playing right now. Bertrand Houdon, who's also there. They have a great running back room already over there. Then you look at the receivers as well. You had guys that were hurt. Sam Emulis is down. Kean Schaefer-Baker is down. Guys are stepping up. That's a great sign of a great team. You see the depth that they have. Keyshawn Johnson. You have Myers that stepped up in games where they needed to win. They stepped up. Guys that we don't usually call out, but they stepped up and they played really well. You talk about, well, okay, what happens if the offense falters and the defense falters? Super Mario comes to the rescue. and he comes. Mario Alford, in the game against Toronto, you saw him at his best in the clutch. They really needed a big boost on special teams, and he showed up. So this is a team that's very well equipped, all 3 phases of the game, and they're complementing each other very well. It's going to be tough to beat them, but regardless, for the long run, this is how you want your team to be built, and I love the Saskatchewan Roughriders for that.
We had such high expectations for Nathan Rourke going into the season. You know, he returns from injury on Saturday. He looked great, threw for 352 yards, threw for a touchdown, led his team to a victory. But he's only started 3 of 5 games so far. In your mind, have you seen enough from Nathan Rourke that you feel like he's back to the form that he was in 2022 when he took this league by storm? I
wouldn't say he's back to the form that he was in 2022. Mind you, I played against him then. He was scary. It was tough. It was extremely tough. And then it's a mix between the style of play that he had, and Jordan McSimic, who was his offensive coordinator back then, had an amazing system built just for him. So now he's getting accustomed to a new system, new receivers as well. So he's just getting used to and coming back off of an injury. So I liked what I saw from Nathan Rourke. I loved it. I mean, they come back, they play, they travel across the country, play against the Montreal Alouettes, and I love the poise the calm that he displayed down the stretch of the game against the Montreal Alouettes. You think that you're counting them out, but he was just in control, and I love that for him. But I don't know if I'm ready to say that he's back to 2022 form. I told you, I had nightmares when I played against him, Jay.
Well, there's a lot of great young quarterbacking talent in the league, which is always good for the league, as you know. And then there's 35-year-old Bo Levi Mitchell, our guy, the guy we are waiting to join us here at TSN full-time. We got a seat for him ready to go.
Warmed.
He's out there throwing for 5 touchdowns and a win over the weekend. He just continues to be steady and a calming presence with the Tabbies. Do you see any signs of him, all jokes aside, any signs of him slowing down at all?
It's scary, Jay, because I don't see it. And Ted Gavaya did an amazing job bringing in Kenny Lawler. It was intentional. Yeah. He used to be in Winnipeg. He obviously knows Kenny Lawler really well. He spent a lot of time with him. He comes to Hamilton as a general manager, and the first thing that he does, he says, how do I get Kenny Lawler in the building? And you got to think about last year, what happened with Bo Levi. We were all thinking, hey, you know what? He's coming down the stretch of his career here, and we're ready to embrace him and welcome him into the team at TSN. But down the stretch, he showed some things that we felt like were done and over with. But he showed that youth all over again. But he was just slinging the rock like we know him to have done all these years in the CFL. And all of a sudden, Kenny Lawler comes in, and you could tell how excited he was, Jay. Yeah. From the beginning of the season, if you watch the Hamilton Tiger Cats play, I always talked about the fact that Bo Levi Mitchell was kind of forcing the ball to Kenny Lawler. But they were seeing this last game And we weren't really seeing that in practice, but they were seeing that, and they knew that this was the possibility and the opportunities that they had. And so now that they're connected, look, it's a high-risk, high-reward offense because it doesn't look good when you're not connecting in the previous games. But when they connect, this is what you get. 5 touchdowns for Bo Levi Mitchell, 3 for Kenny Lawler, and 207 yards out of 6 catches. I mean, he might be the best one in the league right now.
Lawler might be the MOP. Like, he's that good of a football player.
You have to put him in a conversation.
The Argos, on the other hand, opened the season as co-favorites to win the Grey Cup, and here they are. They're 1-4. They still don't have Chad Kelly. He won't be back till at least week 7. Do you see a turnaround coming for the Boatmen in any way, or are there bigger issues than the fact that they're missing Chad Kelly?
I mean, you're missing Chad Kelly, Jay. You're missing Wynn McManus on defense, and this team looks like they're in a little bit of disarray. Yes, they're in a place where you would hope that they're improving, and Chad Kelly is getting closer and closer to have Chad Kelly back in the building. But it's tough. It's hard. And I talk about it like this. When new coaches get on a new team and they have a new staff and new players in the locker room, you kind of give them a little bit of grace. And yes, Ryan Dinwiddie won the Grey Cup with the Toronto Argonauts last year, but this is almost a new team. That whole D-line is in Edmonton now.
Yeah.
You talk about the offense. It's changed a little bit. You don't even have Chad Kelly. You look at the defense. The only piece one of the main pieces that stayed on defense in Wynn McManus, he's gone as well. It's almost like it's a whole new team. So it's tough to judge a team from this perspective. Chad Kelly coming back is another question that you got to deal with, because if he comes back, is he going to have the issues to be able to escape the pocket? That's one of his biggest strengths. He extends plays very well. Will he be able to do that? So now you're playing with, okay, well, do we want to continue to build with Nick Arbuckle, or do we want to rush Chad Kelly back? And if you're rushing him, well, is he going to be as effective, as mobile as we know him to be, for him to be able to impact the games like he can? So that's another question to talk about. But there's a lot of things happening in Toronto land, and it's going to be tough to see how they're going to progress going forward.
You know, before Alouettes quarterback Davis Alexander got injured in week 3, he was the early leader for most outstanding player. Looks like an incredible talent for this league. Looks like just perfect for this league. I'm curious, you know, you mentioned Kenny Lawler, how impressed you've been with him. What other players have impressed you in the first 5 weeks of the season, both offensively and defensively so far?
You got to mention Kenny Lawler. Again, he's had video games like numbers and you know, games that you dream about. And honestly, one of the best performances, and I don't know what's going to top it going forward. But Kenny Lawler has to be in the conversation. You put him up there when you talk about MOPs and who's had the best season thus far. You look at the defense, and you can almost point out almost every defensive players in the Montreal defense, Jay. It's tough. You know, Beverett is playing well again, and you look at the Ugwats of the world and Adeyemi Berglund over there on the D-line. They're playing tremendously. Sean Oakman's been playing tremendously well. So they're all impressive on defense over there. But I'm going to go with a guy, Andrew Chapman. He's a defensive end for the Toronto Argonauts. Yes, they're losing games, but he's leading the league right now in sacks with 5 of them. He's playing tremendous football right now, and there's not a lot of bright spots in Toronto.
Right.
I will give it to him right now.
All right. Week 6, we'll kick off with the Riders trying to extend their season-opening win streak to 5 against Vernon Adams Jr. and the Calgary Stampeders. That means our guy Luke Wilson's going to be in Regina this Friday.
Uh-oh.
Look out, Regina! He's coming. Thanks, Henoc. This was awesome.
Appreciate it, Jay.